Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Wes. Today we're going to be taking a look at something very, very important to me and hopefully very important to you too. We're going to be taking a look at cleanliness. So if you're anything like me, then you probably like to keep your expensive music gear clean and dust free and, looking nice. And if you're not like me and you like to keep your things dirty, well, then this video is not for you, and maybe we'll make a follow-up on how to get your shit dirty. But probably not. So yeah, today we're going to take a look at some of the best practices, in my opinion, to keeping your synths nice and clean. If you disagree with any of these practices, leave a comment down below. Tell me why I'm wrong. I want to hear it. So let's get cracking. First things first, you're going to need some tools. So in my opinion, there are tools for this job that are better than others. So let's take a look right off the bat at what we got going on here. First things first, Synth Brush by Bafaco. Most exciting new product of 2021. This thing's great. It's good for dusting off some stuff just real quick. It's good for getting crumbs off your shirt. I love it. Now, in essence, this is just a paintbrush with red bristles and a nice little handle there. So standard paintbrush will work just as well. Bless you, Mako. Also, makeup brushes work incredibly well. They're very fine, very soft. So yeah, I would just recommend having some sort of brush to, very quickly be able to just get dust off. Next thing, canned air. Canned air is just really helpful for blasting out like USB ports or, anything that's kind of inset that gets a little dusty. However, in my opinion, it's always better to try and suck than to blow, and I'll talk about that in just a sec. So how do I suck instead of blowing? Well, you get yourself something like this. This is just a Dyson vacuum, handheld vacuum cleaner that's got, a nice little brush on there. I would recommend, if you're gonna get one of these for cleaning your synths and gear, you use you use a different brush than the one you're going to use to clean your TV and the crevasses of your house, because this will get really gross really fast if you're using it for other stuff. So, these things are now like the brush heads are now like $10, $10 on Amazon. Just get a spare one, just for your gear. And the idea behind this is that air is going to blast dust inwards if you're spraying directly down onto your devices, and then you're just going to get that dust in your devices. So if you can actually just physically lift dust and debris off the device and into the vacuum, that is going to be much more ideal in the long run. Now you can still use canned air. I just recommend spraying it like vertically downwards so that you're encouraging any dust or debris to, fly off the synth instead of go into it. So yeah, that's just general housekeeping. Better to suck than to blow. Now this next tool is something that I am incredibly stoked on. I just found out about these and they're so useful. One of my biggest gripes was using Q-tips to clean in between modules and things of that nature. And if you've ever done this, you know that normal Q-tips absolutely suck once they get a little bit moist or wet. So you put any alcohol on them, they just start to fall apart. If you need to apply any pressure to them, they bend. They're terrible. They leave gross residue. So, like all amazing innovations, some stoner got absolutely sick of that, and they invented glop mops. And what these guys are is they are very, very nice Q-tips with the express purpose of cleaning, pipes and wax and shit of that nature. But what they do very well is not break apart. They've got this nice bamboo sticky twiggy thing, and they don't leave any residue. So they're absolutely essential in my opinion. And what you're going to want to do is combine this with just a tiny amount of isopropyl alcohol. I got the 91% here, but you can get the lower percentages, honestly, because I feel like we want to be gentle here. You know what I mean? We don't want to be abrasive with our expensive music gear. So yeah, once you've got your tools, let's take a look at some cleaning. All right, let's take a look at all these little techniques and tricks here, and you can choose what works best for you, what you feel most safe with. So we're looking at my modular synth here, and a few of these modules are pretty gnarly. You know, this Optomix here has got some gunk in between these jacks and up along the side of these nuts. So we're going to take a look at trying to clean that. So first things first, let's go over, you know, using the Synth Brush. Synth Brush works just great. It's strangely satisfying to just bust this out, okay? So that's that. Now notice that also these bristles will start to get dirty over time. These brushes are like $15, but you know, if they get messed up and gnarly, I'm sure you could clean them like paint brushes, or you could just get a new one. A $13 brush to keep a $3,000 synth nice and clean. It seems like a good investment in my opinion. Now, what I was talking about with the air is when you dust off your equipment here, you don't want to be hitting it like straight down like this, because if you're blowing this straight down, what you're doing is forcing any debris into these very tiny little holes and jacks and things of that nature, and it's just going to end up gunking stuff up. So what you'd want to do is kind of come from the side, you know, watch out for that stuff. So hold it upright, short blasts, and that's how it's done. Now inversely, you could just take this little vacuum guy and just go to town. And this is kind of like a combination of both the Synth Brush and a vacuum. So I mean, this is, in my opinion, the best way to just, you know, keep dust off your stuff. Yeah, these are a little bit expensive, these little handheld vacuums, but there are tons of cheap Dyson knockoffs available on the internet, and a ton of them work absolutely wonderful. I have had several of them over the years until I splurged on a Dyson. They fucking rock. So sponsor me, Dyson. Come on, do it. Sponsor me. All right, now let's take a look at these glop mops and some isopropyl alcohol. So what I do is I get one of these little containers. If you're in California, you know where to get these little containers. And if not, I'm sure you can guess or find something very similar. So I keep a little bit of isopropyl in these containers here, and we'll pop it open. And then what I do is I just get a little one of these glop mops, and I kind of just dip her in there, you know, just one side, just a little tiny bit. And then what you can do is start to just get at some of these gross, you know, spots up around the screws, around down there, you know, just kind of hit all those dirty little spots that is driving you crazy, you know, down there. So yeah, what I'm doing here is just hitting the panel with a light little coating of isopropyl alcohol, and you know, just kind of getting it in there. And I'll turn it over to the dry side, soak it all up, go around these nuts here, and get all this junk out. And you know, I'm doing this pretty quickly, but as you can see, we are picking up quite a little bit of gunky gunk here. I keep my synths really clean, so you know, it's not as much as you might normally see, but you get the point. And as you can tell, no residue, no gross little hairs coming sticking out of everything. You can put pretty decent deal of pressure there until you break them. I did just break it, but whatever. And yeah, that is a real quick little primer on how to keep your synths clean. I do want to preface, though, that you should be careful with boxes like, you know, this Electron box. For instance, they have kind of a different coating on top, so over time alcohol will wear that down, but so will normal usage. So, you know, if you've got those kind of like rubberyized surfaces, maybe be a little bit more careful. There are other chemicals other than isopropyl alcohol that you can use. There's another one that I really like called Citrusolve, which is a degreaser. It's awesome, all natural, but it is incredibly abrasive. So be careful with this kind of stuff, you know? But otherwise, keep your synths clean. They'll stay happy, you'll stay happy, and everybody will have a fun time. So let me know down in the comments if I missed any amazing strategies for keeping your stuff clean. If you hate all my ideas, also let me know as well. Like if you liked it, sub if you loved it, and that'll do. We'll see you next time.